strategies for empowering the present and securing the future. So let's get right into it. So it is clear that Nigeria is what? Standing at a critical crossroads as regards the energy industry, because we are trying to what? Balance the energy demands of our population. The population is growing astronomically, and also we are trying to meet up with industrial growth, and we are also trying to keep up with energy transition. Energy transition is that what it is. So what basically is energy evolution? It is clear that what Nigeria has to shift away from fossil fuels, which are major pollutants, and embrace what suitable alternatives. So, but you should remember that the topic says what empowering the present and securing the future. So this is more of a more nuanced solution to solve Nigeria's problem, because a lot of work has been carried out on something like this, and all they talk about is what the future. But what happens to the present? What happens to the present? That's what we are going to deal in this paper. The paper has an objective to what evaluate Nigeria's current energy. What does Nigeria's energy look like currently? And what identify key challenges faced in the energy sector. What are the challenges that we face in Nigeria's energy sector today? And lastly, we are going to what propose actionable strategies for sustainable energy development and also today. So the next subheading is overview of Nigeria's current energy landscape. So as I said earlier, this is more of saying what does it look like in power generation in Nigeria today? What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? What are the trends? And what are some of the things we can work on? So firstly, there is what? A dominance of fossil fuels. Nigeria is blessed, sure. Nigeria is blessed with a lot of hydrocarbons, but currently we are depending too much on this. So it's somewhat like a blessing and somewhat like a curse, because we have a lot of it, but we are not using it even in the best way. As you can see here, over 86% of Nigeria's energy supply is what generated from fossil fuels. And just so you know, there are other alternatives. This is not the only source of energy that we can benefit from. And secondly, there are what? Power sector inefficiencies. It is one thing to generate power, and it is another thing to do what? To transmit it and distribute it to ensure it goes what? To the final consumers. And our power sector has been doing what? A very sharp job at it, because we can see that there is a lot of unannounced load shedding, system collapses, and what? Power failures. And this charts now from what? From Nigeria's emissions, see that in 2016, we generated the energy demand of Nigeria was about 29,000 megawatts, and what was generated was just 10 megawatts. That's not even enough. And just to make it worse, only about 4,000 was dispatched to Nigerians at the end of the day. So that means there's what? A very serious inefficiency in the power sector, and that's what Nigeria's current energy landscape looks like today. And number three, what? We've identified a strength, a weakness, and now we can see that there's what? An opportunity that we have not tapped into yet. That's the potential of renewables. Nigeria has many opportunities for hydro, that's water, hydroelectric, wind, biomass, that is our agricultural byproduct, and finally solar, that's energy that comes from the sun. A research work carried out by Humphrey in 2022 says that the northern region of Nigeria receives up to 7 kilowatt-hour per meter square per day in solar irradiation. So imagine what we could do with this immense solar radiation. What we choose to do, we choose to depend on fossil fuels. So after coming to that, let's go into what the key challenges faced in the energy sector. We've had a good look at Nigeria's energy landscape looks like today. So now let's look at some challenges that we face in this sector. So first, there is what? Deficient infrastructure, which is what caused that power sector inefficiencies I talked about in Nigeria's current landscape. The national power grid is inadequate, it is outdated, and it's because of this that there are so many long-standing issues like power losses, breakdowns, and national grid collapses. And other long-standing issues include what? Gas flaring and pipeline vandalism. In Nigeria, what we are the leading flarer of gas on the African continent. We are partnering with countries like the US and the Mexico. So apart from this is what is an aberration concerning that Nigeria is what the leading producer of oil and gas on the African continent. So this is a serious problem. That's the deficient infrastructure. And secondly, we have what? Financing and investment gaps. Sure, it is easy to say we can go into renewable energy, but where is the money for that? And we can see that currently Nigeria is not pumping enough money into the renewable energy industry. So, and we have something like our volatile forex rate, the way the dollar goes up, goes down, it scares investors away. This is a serious challenge we face currently. Then thirdly, there are what? Thirdly, there is the issue of energy poverty and access inequality. This is a chart from the World Bank. You can see that in 2018, in the urban areas, about 36% of the urban areas have access to electricity. This is very poor considering that there is a threshold of 50%, and this is less than in the urban, on the rural areas, don't have access to electricity. So time is running. Let's move into the strategic solutions that Nigeria can employ. So some of the first thing is first optimization of hydrocarbon resources. Yes, of course, we have hydrocarbon resources. We don't need to shift away from them. We have to use them to their optimal state. Because sure, we are blessed with it, but the way we are using these hydrocarbon resources is way. So we have to optimize this. And by the first thing is by let's try and look at gas-fired power generation. Because currently a lot of our power stations in Nigeria are powered with coal. So we have to look at optimization of these type of power resources using natural gas. And another thing is we have to keep away from routine gas flaring and promote gas capture utilization. Some time ago we worked on an innovative solution to capture gas. So instead of flaring this gas, you can find a way to do capture this gas instead of wasting, because of course we know the gas that is flared. Okay, very much.
So before we progress, go back to the first slide. That is the name of the customer presenter. The title page where the name is displayed, and so will have this then the slide is the slide. The slide, what's the name?
Agro success. I'm actually
Andrew success.
Agro success. Agro. AGU.
So excellent presentation. Excellent well. For me, I saw a lot of problems you were trying to explain, that I didn't see you showing how we want to solve any of these problems.
Before we talk about solutions, we have to address the problems. So I'm trying to educate the audience and the judges, but unfortunately, time was behind. I want us to actually address the problem so we can see how the solutions for them to.
Okay, so within 30 seconds, which problem do you intend solving among the activities and how do you want to solve it?
Okay, so first, the thing is the dominance of there is deficient infrastructure in the petroleum industry. Considering the fact that we use coal to fire our power stations, why not use natural gas so that we can have a cleaner alternative? Because we can't completely do away with our hydrocarbon resources. Because everybody will shout cleaner energy, but we don't have to shift away totally from our abundant resource. We can use the natural gas that we have blessed with over a trillion cubic feet, and use them to power our stations instead of hammering on just the crude oil, that's the liquid mixture that we have under the ground.
So, because this young man here didn't do properly to show you. Do we use coal to generate power in Nigeria? Hello? Hello? Do we use coal to generate power in Nigeria?
There are some power plants that are fired by coal-fired gas plants like
Nigeria at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
The egg power plant.
Because for you to put a coal plant now, US will sanction you.
Okay. because there's the problem of enforcement. They still go on with it.
So listen. That's why I put a question there is that we need to first of all understand the energy needs in Nigeria or the energy landscape in Nigeria. When you understand the energy needs first, you understand, then you understand the present. Then from the present, you can now look at the future. At the moment, we use over 7 up to 80% of power plants, power by gas. Like that. So if you want to check the NEC, Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, if you check their yearly reports, you will find those information there. You understand? So I think it's good you understand first what you want to do, understand the environment. You actually have a nice word, a nice idea, but I just feel that if you could have done more literature review to understand the energy landscape in Nigeria, then you can now prefer solutions. So I think that there's a gap there which I think you can work on. Then your literature review is also, you can use current literature review, maybe 2024, 2023, because like I said, this database publish reports yearly, right? If you are giving me something of 2016, 2017, that's a bit far, right? Because by now we've increased power supply or power generation using gas. And we are aware that Davido's father also commissioned a new plant, right? I think we should start August or between August or October. Understand? So these are just my comments. Thank you.
Not other solutions to problem, but sorry, time on my side. Like considering our policy frameworks, which do scare off international investors at times, our volatile forex rates, our inability to effectively enforce some penalties, because currently we are still flaring off gas, which can be very useful in our energy needs.
So the question there is that when we talk about policy framework, can you mention one policy that you feel is inefficient aside forex?
We are not meeting up with our SCDs, our national contributions. Sorry, I can't find. But we have some things that we're actually working towards. But currently at the moment, we are not doing well that regard. We are not embracing solar. We are not embracing our rivers. It's even possible that this river, Ethiopia, Delta can be a very huge source, but we are just tilted so much to our hydrocarbon resources. Why are we shifting? Why are we so inclined to this thing we have in abundance when we have other options like solar, hydrocarbons, and solar, hydroelectric, and biomass? Because we have a lot of farms and agricultural byproducts in our country today. And there are also several case studies on this.
Yeah, please go through his conclusion slide. Just so you are going to go to the issue. Like I keep saying, you say Nigeria has the potential to become an energy powerhouse. Which means okay, try to communicate with that. This is great addressing that. Now, your conclusion should always emanate from what you say from the beginning. So you have done a good job compared to the previous speaker you spoke. You have a lot of problems, but you lack the ability to showcase how to solve those problems. And this is what you want to promote. When you talk of policy, now there are already policies in the industry. You can talk of the PIA, there are a lot of them, which has resolved some of the problems you are mentioning. So when you are challenging the policy, you should say what is that policy that you feel should be changed, and you should also make a proposition. Now this just will help you, so that after now, if you want to further with this paper, you should do a paper that at least will be continually. That means people should be looking for you to come and talk to them on what you're doing. And another thing which you also did well is problem, you are good in identifying problems. You showcase the aspect that Nigeria's power capacity generation is 30,000 megawatts. But however, we are only currently annexing just 4,500 megawatts. So that's an excellent problem we have discovered. I didn't see the need you bringing other problems. So you could just harness that one problem alone and reduce your stress. That's why you see what you're saying, because you're trying to solve everything. You can't solve everything. So just focus on one. If that is what you want to solve, go into research. See, why are we actually, what is only 4,500 being dispatched? Do an extensive study. You understand what I'm saying?
My work was trying to be multi-dimensional because the problem of Nigeria is not just one, it's global. So we're trying to attack it from all the angles. I'm sorry if that was too much.
That is, you are not just Christ, you cannot solve all the problems today. Take one and focus on it for now at your level. You get the point? If you must solve multi-problems, they must be related to your topic of interest. Your topic of interest is about power. So limit yourself to issue problems that are in our industry. So excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, very much. Why I am arguing is that anything you draw at it, you want to talk back. But that was a very wonderful argument. Please put just that for the judges. For see, I want to quickly recognize our senators. Amongst many, we have okay. Martin, Kotite, please, if you are here, please, let's see you. Martin, Kotite. To recognize another senator that is with us here, and this person is not a person, it's Senator Kelvin. Oshedere Akure, please, if you are here, please, let's see you. For coming, and then you are here with your phone. I want to one NTN recharge card just to spice the event before next. So with your use MTN net, get ready. Are you ready? Number. MD. This one are less than. Yeah? Because no, we take the way that is making a route. In fact, okay. The pin number is 23188 816 633 51 23, and the last digit is 2. Who got it? Already used that. Okay, that's enough for that. Please just get up for him. Wonderful. Please, at this point, I want to OMC to take us to the next level.
Next talk is our next talk by our Dr. Eko, titled Who Will Be Scam?
This Gambo.
Please let's put our hands together.
Put your hands together. Around that one, I was listening myself. And he was arrested on his way. A student, I don't want to get the name of the school. He was arrested on his way with Indian hair, you know that stuff. And normally, is when you are arrested, it's a debatable offense. And while he was there, because he's used to giraffing, so he saw someone that got himself involved in other case. So he copied it and submitted to the CP. Then I said, are you sure this is your statement? He hit his head, said yes. na my statement because I'm talking to them okay. So it's cool, not to start. That's why at this point in time I want to quickly welcome no other than Engineer Dr. Eddie Oku for this wonderful presentation. Put your hands together. I want to thank you. Thank you very much.
A very good afternoon to all of you. You already know my name. So, hello. So, well, this topic is was just thrown at me because what I had in mind was renewable energy. For me, that as it may, I think they are still all related because for you to know about renewable energy, you must be educated. So, today I just want to try and encourage us, that at some point in your career as a student, at some point, I know some of you be asking yourself, this engineering I'm studying itself, or these sciences that I'm doing itself, is it really necessary? Is it not better to just abandon it and just go and make money? Have you ever thought of that before? Have I ever crossed your mind? All these divide years, where is it taking me to say? What is Laplace transform? What am I going to do with it? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Yes. Anyway, keep asking yourself that question, or just keep doing the work that you are doing, because at the end of the day, everybody will see chop breakfast last. Okay? Abi? Okay, so the point is, every human being has a purpose, and for you to achieve that purpose, you must have some level of education, you must have some level of knowledge. Because without your education, you find out that you can't really do much. Just like what the MC was talking about, that somebody was arrested for holding weed. He got to the station because he didn't know what to write. Saw that person writing station and he copied that person verbatim. And that person is a murder suspect. So he ended up copying the statement of someone that committed murder. And was beating his hand on the chest to say that yes, and my statement is that. So he just removed himself from holding weed to a murder suspect. Why? Because he doesn't know how to read or write. I have a video that I want to play for us. I just want to talk around that video. I'm an industry lecturer, and I used to come around to here a lot when Christian was in school and SP president. I'm an industry lecturer to petroleum engineering because I have not really been having time to come around. So most times when I have the opportunity, I try to share knowledge with us because no knowledge is wasted. So I have a video that will just take us like maybe 5 to 7 minutes. So please just play it and I'll just talk around because I will not have the time to stay back again. I'm sure I came earlier than some of you here. And because we are talking about educational stuff now, the hall is half empty. But I'm sure if they mention now that the video is coming to this footprint, there will be stampede. True of us. But what value will the video coming here add to your life? What value? Some people will miss their test just because they hear that the video is coming here. But now we are exchanging ideas, we are learning from each other, and the hall is half empty. But like I always say, you are not wasting your time. The day you read it, just like you just remember, just like I was telling Christian, every day we transfer money to my father, and he was smiling. Yeah, because he was once like you, but today he has stepped up, and I'm very proud of him. And I know that a lot of you here will be great, and greater. Yeah. So please, are you ready? Or you're not playing? So, like I said, I try to relate what happens in the industry to the theory they teach you in school. That's actually my goal as an industry lecturer. Yeah. So Today we'll be looking at something very critical. I heard I'm talking about hydrogen. You know, when you are in the industry, there are lots of challenges you are going to come across. So the earlier you start thinking about it, the earlier you start going about it, the better. So while we are waiting for that to happen, I asked earlier how many times have you crossed your mind that maybe you are wasting your time here. The truth is that
toxic hydrogen sulfide gas that escape from a damaged pump. October 26, 2019, the Acorn operating Thought-Provoking waterfront station near Odessa, Texas. One Acorn employee succumbed to toxic hydrogen sulfide gas that escaped from a damaged pump. His spouse was also fatally injured by the hydrogen sulfide gas while searching for him at the facility after he didn't return home.
Hydrogen sulfide is prevalent throughout oil and gas formations in the United States and at many oil and gas production and processing facilities. Hydrocarbons from the Permian Basin in particular are known to contain high concentrations of hydrogen sulfide that are immediately dangerous to life and health. Our review of this event is about the unfortunate loss of two lives, but the lessons from this incident affect a multitude of other oil and gas facilities throughout the country that handle toxic hydrogen sulfide. This incident is both tragic and unnecessary. We urge companies operating oil and gas facilities to understand the findings from this investigation and implement appropriate safeguards. We need to work together to ensure that our workers and community members return home safely each and every day.
The Acorn waterfront station is used as part of a process to extract oil from underground reservoirs in West Texas. Oil extraction starts at an oil plant, where pump jacks are used to lift oil from underground reservoirs. Reservoirs in West Texas also contain hydrogen sulfide, a toxic gas, which comes to the surface with the oil that is extracted. The oil comes out of the ground with some water in it. To remove the water, the mixture is fed to a tank battery. As the oil and water mixture sits in the tanks, the water separates from the oil. The oil is then transported for further processing. The water is pumped through pipelines to the waterfront station. It is now called produced water because it can contain residual oil and other contaminants, such as toxic hydrogen sulfide gas. At the waterfront station, the produced water flows into a large storage tank called a suction tank. The water then enters a building called the pump house. There, pumps are used to pressurize the produced water and inject it back into the oil field through injection pumps. The injected water increases reservoir pressure and displaces the oil, allowing a larger quantity of oil to be extracted. At the time of the incident, there were two pumps in the pump house. The pump house also contains a control room from which employees run the station. Typically, the station is not continuously occupied. Instead, an Acorn employee called a pump visits twice per day to record meter readings and inspect equipment. If there is an equipment problem and the pumper is not at the station, an alarm system triggers an automated phone call to the pumper. It is then the pumper's responsibility to acknowledge the alarm and go to the station to determine what's causing it. The station was also equipped with a hydrogen sulfide detection and alarm system that would trigger a separate automated phone call to the pumper on duty if it detected dangerous levels of the toxic gas. The system would also illuminate a rotating red beacon light on top of the pump house. But the CSP found that this critical detection and alert system was not functioning on the night of the incident. At 6:38 p.m. on October 26th, the water flood station's control system activated an oil level alarm on the pump. 5 minutes later, the phone system called an Ag1 pump, alerting him of a pump malfunction of some kind. The pumper drove to the water flood station. The hydrogen sulfide beacon light was not illuminated when the pumper arrived at the water flood station or at any time for the rest of the night. The pumper parked near the water flood station, leaving his personal hydrogen sulfide monitor inside his truck. The pumper went into the control room, where the control system indicated the alarm was for pump number 1. The pumper prepared for work on pump number 1. The pump, which could automatically start when enough water was available to pump to the injection wells, was still connected to its power source. The pumper did not de-energize the pump. The pumper then walked to the pumps. He closed pump number 1's discharge valve and partially closed the pump's intake valve. While the pumper was near the pump, he was overcome and fatally injured by toxic hydrogen sulfide gas. After the incident, the CSB found that a plunger on the pump was shattered, which had allowed water containing hydrogen sulfide to escape from the pump into the pump house where the pumper was working. Due to limitations of available evidence, the CSB was unable to determine whether the pump failure and water release occurred before the pumper arrived at the facility or if the pump automatically turned on while the pumper was closing valves. After several hours, when the pumper did not return home, his spouse drove their 2 children to the station to check on him. She entered the water flood station facility and searched for him. She soon found him on the floor in the pump house. She then was also overcome and fatally injured by the toxic hydrogen sulfide gas. A short time later, emergency responders approached the pump house. They detected a very strong smell of hydrogen sulfide. This required them to set up the command post outside the front gate of the facility and wear self-contained breathing apparatus. They found the pumper and his wife deceased inside the pump house and water spilling from pump number 1. The responders rescued the 2 children who were inside the spouse's car. Working with Acorn employees, they were able to stop the water release the following morning.
During our investigation, we identified 6 major safety issues at the facility.
One of the 6 safety issues identified was that the pumper was not equipped with his company-issued personal hydrogen sulfide detection device inside the pump house on the night of the incident. When the pumper's personal hydrogen sulfide detector was located in his work car, it was found to be in an alarm state, meaning it had detected dangerous levels of hydrogen sulfide. The potential for a hydrogen sulfide release was a known hazard at the water flood station, as indicated by the posted signage and a safety pamphlet provided to all employees. However, there was no evidence that Acorn management required use of hydrogen sulfide detectors or adequately trained employees that equipment malfunctions could indicate a toxic hydrogen sulfide release.
Companies should ensure workers always use the required safety equipment, such as
I just want someone to just tell us what actually happened. To answer my question, they always try to so I also want to go to we have engineers here, we talk about pumps, we talk about gas, so if we almost all aspects of engineering so I need somebody to tell us what I just want to tell us what actually happened. What are the lessons learned? What went wrong? What are the lessons learned? Because
We have ivory sulfide in our oil in Nigeria. I can find out. So, yeah, no, you can come and share mine. Let's make it very interactive. The other engineers here now, mechanical, you have mechanical strength. You do very how come when you form, in those days we used to have pump stations, they produce oil, they refine oil, they worry, and they pump it to Kaduna. Have you ever asked yourself how it gets to Kaduna? Have you ever asked yourself the oil that is refined in Warri pumped to the Kaduna refinery and so on? Have you ever asked yourself how it gets there? What happens as the flow is going? Have you ever asked yourself? Find out. When you are looking at that, so there are various applications of that. It depends on where you are. Wherever there is a flow, you have a flow. There's a movement. You have a continuous movement. So applies to different. So what the point I'm trying to make here is that there's no knowledge that is wasted. There's no knowledge that is not useful. It might not be useful to you today, but it might be very useful tomorrow. What really happens? The woman knows where the husband was. When you did not see your husband, naturally your instinct should have told you, maybe you are exposed to hydrogen sulfide. True or false? But if your husband was in the hydrogen sulfide, you saw the signboard. But nobody took note of that signboard. At least they didn't take it. It wasn't important to them. Because if not, I'm sure she shouldn't have just walked in there to the what was even the key carrying the children in the car and going to the plant to for the man? What was the car on? Or if you say they would want baby there or something, I don't get it. So it's very important. You can be school, but you are not educated. You know that. You can be school or you are not educated. There are some people that they will pass through school, but the school will not pass through them. The university actually prepares you to be a total student. A total, when they be total, full package. That's what university prepares you for. It's not just to be a technical engineer, marine engineer, computer science, or so on. No. Computer science is your major. But that's not the only thing that you are supposed to take away from university. That's what we want to do. Once you are a graduate, you are supposed to be good in business, you are supposed to be good in research, you are supposed to be good in safety. But what we are talking about more safety oriented. But you agree with me that if you are not educated, you don't even understand some of these safety measures. Like the man got an alarm. He got an alarm. That alarm is triggered when there is an H2S true or false. And he got it on his phone. He knew there was H2S. You go to the scene of the H2S. You left your Tesla in the car. Who does that? So it's either he doesn't really understand what is applicable, where it's working, or he doesn't even understand the kind of job that he's doing. So it's very important for you to ask questions between the lines. Whatever you are doing, please always try to ask questions. Why am I doing it? And the word intervention engineer, what I do, I fix well. Any oil well that is having problems, not flowing, is having problems with the flow, or has been my job is to make sure that that well is back to life. When they reach finish training, I make sure that well is there will be jewelry that will allow the well to flow. When I started the job, fresh young graduates like people that I work with did not go to school. Most of them just went to technical school and they learned on the job. But there was a difference between the man that learned on the job and you that went to school. The difference between you that went to school and the man that learned on the job. Outside that skill, maybe mechanical or electrical, you also acquired some additional skill. And one of the most important skills you acquire in university is soft skill. And one of the soft skills is emotional intelligence. You know what they call emotional intelligence? Businesses they cross or lack of emotional intelligence. Marriages are breaking down because of lack of emotional intelligence. You get home now. Maybe you are married or you are not married, your father or your mother, your mom that will decide when you come back. Maybe you call your family, welcome out today. You come back home and you man all of us. Mommy, you have to and mommy tells you that something is wrong. You are not emotionally intelligent. That's what you should be able to look at somebody and tell yourself, or for instance, you want to approach me now for maybe you need help, maybe IT or anything. Obviously, see that I'll just fighting with one guy that scratch my car. That's the point you go back and say, okay, I'm trying to see. Please, I'd like to get your number, looking for IT. That person okay. Because if you have emotional intelligence, tell yourself that that is not the right time or the right moment to approach you. So one of the key takeaways you get from innovators is that you learn. There are some of your lecturers. There are some days they come to class, they don't want to go. You can just enter class because one person just said one thing, just give you a test. Does it happen? Or you just ask one question, it feels like I'm supposed to know this thing. I don't know it. Maybe because the guy is asking, or came home, had issue at home, or why he was. So, emotional intelligence, that's why you can graduate as a first class student, and you be without job. Does it happen? Yes or no? Yes. Are there first class students that apply for security job in Dangote refinery when you go? Yes or no? Yes. But for me, the level I have today, the people that have a first class or that is PhD and you apply for security job, there's something wrong with you. There is obviously something wrong, but that is not. You should be able to value yourself. You should know your value. You should place value on yourself. Nobody can value you. First of all, value based on yourself. Like I used to say this thing, it's very important to be educated and not just. You can go for an interview and do that being employed as, let's say, graduate engineers. Every company has a starting point. The first stage, maybe you say, okay, maybe graduate engineer will pay you $1 million or $5 million. But you know that same person that they employ you in the same day can be earning 560,000 while you are earning 500 or 600,000 or even 700 while you are earning 500. You know you have. You can be in the same job position with someone but you are not earning the same thing. True or false? You know why? Some of the value you place on yourself. You come for a job interview, okay, say you read chemical engineering for food, okay, what can you, what if we employ you, what are you bringing to the table, like very common language, what am I bringing, what are you bringing to the table, you are doing, I will do that first class, because I'm attracted to first class, I cannot let it go. Okay, anything to say you do well, yes sir, thank you sir. Okay, then second person comes and then John, you have two teams of you want to do. Okay, what I bring to you is when I was coming in, I noticed that the generator was emitting some very black smoke and that was not really like that is not my area, but I feel somebody that has what my state and I think are you bringing value already? Yes. And when employing these people, even if you are the end, you tell people you pay more. Who are you going to pay more? Out of these people. So understand that this is practical. 1 million naira when he's short and pay 500,000 and you gladly accept and do the job. Do you know that? The less he pays you, the better for him. So if you don't place value on yourself by showing your skills, by showing that you are knowledge, that you are educated, that outside your petroleum engineering job that you are being employed for, that you can also, the company is having an event now, and they need to bring in a moderator, they need to bring in an MC for their end of year event, and they bring in one guy and they pay 1 million naira. Is there anything wrong if you tell your management that, sir, I can handle this MC job? I've done it maybe sometime in school. And they say, okay, are you sure you can do it? Okay, all right, let's give it a try. They were supposed to pay that 500,000. Because you did it, they don't spend that 500,000. You think if that MD company tomorrow doesn't see you around, that they will not ask after you? Now, I'm bringing out a new, okay, because I like you. What things are things I've seen in the industry? These are things I've seen in the industry. What am I talking about? Value. You must have extra value. When you're on holidays, what do you do with your time? The fact that you are a petroleum engineer, a chemical engineer, does not stop you from, developing your interest or skill to have in other areas. Develop them, put in your pocket, it doesn't matter. One day it will be useful. Your MP is driving one car and maybe it's EV, it's an electric vehicle, yeah, and you are an electrical engineer. The man wants to start a car is to start. Instead of all you go, he feels you are an electrical engineer. Dude, my car is to start. So you have an idea. You started actually. Then somebody else, maybe even the HSC officer or even a security man said, maybe during his holiday as a student, used to follow his father or his uncle or his friend who was home and learned one or two things about terminals, about how to check your terminals and stuff like that. And the man just said, sir, please can I try? And those of the last time, are you telling me that tomorrow that empty or that company that is if you don't authority to have to call Lagos for them to send somebody to pay 5 years for them to send it? Are you telling me that man will not value that guy that solved that problem for everybody? The bottom line is value yourself. Make sure you are educated. Don't just go to school, okay? And always make sure that you have something to offer. You have a value that you can provide. You have something that will market, something that will make you stand out. But the first class you are getting here, you are not the only one getting it. The two one you are getting here and think a hybrid, let's graduate student in mechanical. There are many great best graduate students from other schools. So what now differentiates you from them? That's what I'm talking about. Well, leave me, I'll just talk. So I think I would like to stop here. Also, any knowledge, and when you have the opportunity to show your skill, not I too know. When you have the opportunity to show your skill, please don't try. Thank you very much. Next question on my table. I have a question. Okay, thank you very much.
Sorry for that talk. So, what about now giving another example to wait for the paper?
The other person.
Are you ready? 575 799 5 Okay, let me call it again. 5752-7990-583-582. Who got it? Nobody? Okay, let me call it again. 5752-7990-5323-581. Has it been used? Okay, we have someone here. You have to get out from there. Okay, so right now we're introducing the next paper presenter, which is Sir Ayodele Friday. Put your hands together for him.
Your time starts now.
Good evening. Good evening, moderator. Good evening, fellow students. Revolutionizing reservoir fluid analysis. Unlocking AI journal for accurate PVT predictions. What does this title mean? Simply making complete improvements on how our oil and gas behave under the ground. Using to the next slide, please. To the introduction of this study, what is PVT analysis? PVT analysis is just a process done in order to know how our oil and gas behave at different temperature and pressure. And this PVT analysis is usually done in the laboratory. But due to transportation and logistics, which serve as one of the limitations of this laboratory, then another alternative way to do this PVT analysis is direct formula. That is empirically direct correlations. Yes, these correlations have a significant issue, which is error. Yes, this PVT analysis is usually done in the laboratory, which is accurate due to transportations and logistics. And also, this laboratory is capital intensive. So the another alternative way is to use the empirically derived formula. But the issue with this empirically derived formula is that it yields significant error. Why? Because this empirically derived formula, they are being derived based on regional group. For example, if I make use of major data group to derive my own empirical formula, if I carry it outside the major data and apply it in another region, it will definitely yield significant error. And my aim is to reduce this error. Now, why this error so dangerous in the oil and gas industry? It will make us to underestimate the reservoir. It will make us to produce our well in the proper way and many other like that. Okay. Now, my aim, as I've said, is to reduce this error so that if this empirical derived formula is being carried outside the region, we can use it in other regions aside the regional based formula. Next slide, please. Coming to the literature review, there are many old authors, hundreds of authors, who are actually doing the same work on this empirical derived formula. We can see Mark K, who was able to derive his own empirical formula using the California in 1947. We can see Glassos in 1980. We can see Mark A in 1980. We can see Big Rock and Christmas in 2001 and 2004. Like that time will not permit me to state all this author. But now, the issue still remains the same, even till now. And my aim is to optimize this error. To the next slide, please. Yes, I plan to do this by doing the data gathering and creation, data quality and quality assurance. I
Use this one that is cleaner than the two. It's not clear.
I uploaded this data into a software MATLAB. MATLAB is a software algorithm that is to build up this algorithm. So I calculated the PBT data from the existing. I considered 3 existing correlations: the standard correlation, the add-on correlations, and the frequency and partial correlation. I calculated the information volume factors from the existing correlations. Then I compared the results from what I got. There was a wide error in I got right from. So I did the codings. I implemented the optimization algorithm to reduce this error, then compare the results with the one gotten in the laboratory. Next slide, please. Yes, we can see from the graph, we can see the experimental results, that is the one gotten from the laboratory. We can see the calculated results down there. Although this thing has color, I can't be able to see the right color for it. So we can see from the right formula down. Then we can see the optimized one. After I optimize it, you can see that it moved from closer to the experimental result. Most of this is more clear. As an example, to the next slide, please. Yes, the error analysis. As we all know that the more our analysis were nice, the better. Yes, all of them we can see for the R square, that is the coefficient of correlations. We can see for frequency and partial move from 0.787 to 0.79. We can see for solid from 0.788 to 0.789. We can see likewise for R Mahu. The next slide, please. To reinforce this, to ensure the accuracy of my work, I proceeded by considering the second algorithm, which is the TNPO optimization algorithm. Yet, we can see the graph here, the calculated result, we can see that line down, and we can see the experimental result to that line. Now, we can see that the calculated result was far from the experimental result. But after I implement, correlation, almost waiting to the experimental result. To the next slide, please. Yes, we can see the error reduces for starting from to 0.0029. We can see for Amahu and Petrobowl and Fashion. Also, we can see the coefficient of fitness as is R squared from 0.78 to 0.9, from 0.9 to 0.99, and from 0 to 0.99, which is approximately equal to 1, which shows the accuracy of our. That's why I figure out the coefficient of fitness from 0.90 to 0.99. To the next slide. Yes, I would like to. We can see that none of this unoptimized correlation is able to determine the PBT correlation perfectly. But after I optimize this correlation, as I said earlier, I consider we can see for the gradient set which move to 0.79, and we can see for TNPO 0.99, which is so. I would like to recommend that in any field that is being used, or empirically derived formula, it's not only applicable to petroleum industry, but to other industry, mechanical, electrical, this should be optimized in order to avoid significant error. I like to thank the audience listening, my mentor for listening. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay, Ayodele, energy is so much energy, which is good. And presentation was also highly standardized, and you showcase excellent mastery of the subject matter, which is good. And I believe that the students are also learning from this. When you talk of activity, fluid analysis, it's key that all of you guys know this, because this will help you to get, especially those of you in final year, this will help you when you want to predict your fluid behavior when pressure is changing, when temperature is changing. Those who work in flow stations can easily know the importance of this. So it's a highly valuable topic, even for chemical engineers and those who work in processing plants. So you made mention after your analysis, you did a good job, especially using MATLAB. Even though I was expecting to see some graphical presentation, you had. So with MATLAB, you can run plotting, scatter plotting with MATLAB. And here you can do that from the little I know of MATLAB. At least that should have given your results a better view and insight. And this is a question, then maybe you answer, I will now know how to score you. One of you talked of, we are all aware that at the end of your PVT analysis, you should be able to estimate fluid properties. So this your work is what you see, you focus on information volume factor. And that is not the fluid property that is important in the industry. So do you want to answer to why did you not consider other properties? Maybe bubble point, the viscosity of the gas, the viscosity of the oil, completing factor. Those are all fluid properties that are also very valuable. But you didn't impute them, because when you're doing, I can say what you're doing, you're trying to simulate, because we have to take, because we have to take this to the field to be able to see whether. So I don't the key issue. Please just first of all ask you, what is formation volume factor? Yeah, what is formation volume factor? That was the key thing you were trying to do to put from the fluid properties. That is excellent. He said it's the ratio of oil. Go ahead. The ratio. I will give you a partial point based on the level where you are, because formation volume factor, whether you like it or not, it will take into consideration the fluid properties at reservoir condition and the properties at stop-tap condition. Are you with me? So another thing I want to comment before you come up, I didn't see in your correlation, you were supposed to specify whether it is formation volume factor of gas or of oil. So it's difficult for us to say this project. So in your parameters, where was the area?
Oil formation volume factor.
Okay, excellent. So next time when you're working, you should specify that.
For the reasoning for example, last time you make use of California, make use of acceleration. And to answer the question you asked at the beginning, sir, that why is that I didn't consider other properties? It's because the same empirical formula, the same we use to calculate for the oil formation volume factors, we also use it to calculate for other properties as well. And what we're saying in essence is either it is oil formation volume factor or gas oil ratio, any other properties that they should be optimized to avoid this significant error.
Thank you for your presentation. Yeah, ever since we've been talking about technicality, this is an example of technicality, because we want you to be able to assess your objective and you set for yourself, and you assess your objective, which is to My only comment would be that you need to know your basics. Understand? So sometimes when you work with all these machine learning models, AI, artificial intelligence, students don't allow students to know the basics. And that was the question they asked you now. Because if I still ask you that question, you may understand. I will not ask you. I will not ask you. But just know your basics as to the point of formation body factor. What is it? What does it imply? Right? And it's also good to utilize other choreographic activity. If you are dealing with just one information body factor, remove the word PPT from your title, right? And let it be specific. But if you are dealing with more than one PPT properties, then PPT will be part of the title. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm not going to take one. Sorry, what's PVT? Not you. We all know what's PVT. Huh? Everybody in this hall. Just feel free. Nobody paid your school fees for you, so just feel free and answer. If you don't know, say you don't know. You don't know. Okay, so my point is, when you are doing the presentation like this, don't assume anything. Because you just believe that everybody knows what you are talking about, and it's not right. Because there might be someone that don't know what you are saying. So if you are going to use abbreviations, from the beginning, define that abbreviation. Then after that, you can now continue using what you have already defined. So please, you can just tell them what's PVT. So at least nobody will go away and without taking something along. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So PVT is an acronym that stands for pressure, volume, and temperature. These are what the key parameters, that these are the key things we need to know about our oil atoms, how they behave, how they respond at different temperature and pressure, even at the surface. Thank you.
So when you do PVT analysis in the industry, you can go. That's when you do. Have you heard of when they say PhD survey? Have you heard of PhD survey? Eh? When they say you run a PhD survey, petroleum students should know now, even other people don't know. So when you are carrying out PhD survey, what you're actually doing is trying to get your PVT analysis of that crude. Because that will not help to determine whether there's skin that well, if that well should be stimulated or not. If there's a skin, what's the cause of the skin? Yeah? Because if the temperature that you got like last year is now lower than what you are getting now, then something is wrong. So that's why it's statutory. Every oil field you must do your PhD survey. And when you do PhD, the only thing you are just doing is PVT. Don't mind me, I like to use every opportunity to teach or to explain this to people. That's why I'm an industry lecturer. I like to relate theory and practical together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I will hand over to the teacher.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. So right about now, we're moving on to the energy challenge. So, okay.
Please, the executive.
Let's come forward for the photograph session.
Before photographer, please. All executives.
And let us give presenters. Know you presented. Know you presented or you're in energy challenge or whatnot. Please come forward and take the photograph.
You present.
Presenters, PetroBowl, and here, please come and have a picture.
Show and then Samuel. Show and Samuel. Who should come and join? PhD. SB. SB. Photographer, you know. Okay, SB. Okay. Continue.
Let's play. Go back to my seat. So what about now giving our awards to our guest speakers?
It's time for award now.
So on behalf of SP, we will be presenting our section director, Dr. Eddie Oko.
Please keep clapping until the
Watch your screen, please. Okay, you have the permission to talk about the table so you can see. Please be careful how you are being.
Okay. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, panel of judges. My name is Tutor, and with me is we are team SPCHE presenting the pyrolysis of plastic waste to fuel with solar assisted conversion using recycled materials. Next slide, please. Plastic pollution is a critical problem in rural and urban regions, particularly in regions like Lagos State. Our innovation combines solar assisted pyrolysis with recycled materials to convert plastic waste into fuel, addressing the problem of waste management, energy poverty, and environmental degradation. This solution is scalable, sustainable, and is aligned with circular economy principle. Next slide. In Lagos State, on a daily basis, over 13,000 metric tons of solid waste are deposited, and this causes clogged drainage. Even when they decide to burn it, it causes air pollution, and when it's flushed into the water body, it causes water pollution, and this is a threat to Lagos State blue economy. And innovation matters because it helps to manage waste. It is also innovative and enrich the solution of pollution. A solar-powered approach can pave the way for low-carbon future in pyrolysis. With this, I'll call on the next speaker to tell us more about our proposal and methodology.
Before I go, I would like to ask a question. Do you know that Lagos State is going to generate enough plastic waste that can actually be 10 Olympic size? Now, so our SPCH has developed an innovative solar assisted pyrolysis that can actually convert this plastic waste into valuable waste. So why people valuable waste? Why creating opportunity for people living in the community? At the same time,
preventing the environment from different types of pollution. So today I will show you how our system works and why it is the most practical and sustainable approach to energy challenge. One, convert plastic waste into fuel like oil and gas using glucose and solar assisted priorities. What our system actually does here is that plastic waste into valuable fuel through solar priorities system, which are number one, 50% fossil fuel, which are used for generators and transportation purposes. The second one is 15% non-compressible gas, which are used for heating pyrolysis. Then the last one is that 5% solely byproduct like carbon black, which other industries can use, which other industries that are into rubber and paint can use. Then two, we utilize recycled material like glass, mirror, for our system control. Then develop in-off rural community area like Badagry and the range of more local energy memory. Now, our competitive advantages is that so people have actually worked on this very project. Now, what is our advantage compared to other people that have worked on these priorities? Our advantage is that our own is cost is to build. That is, if other conventional priorities have used 80 million, therefore our own about 3.5 million to build, then it requires no grid electricity. To worry about electricity. Then create more job opportunity through local. Now, what makes our greater theory breakthrough? One, solar preheating by using
3 minutes left.
Solar preheating by using recycled materials can actually reduce fuel input by 30 to 40%. Next slide. Our impact on the environment. We ensure that every ton of plastic we process prevents 2.5 to 3 tons of CO2 emission and eliminate over 200 kg of microplastic from entering waterways and also generate money for wise people. Next slide. Now, on methodology, we implement pilot rotation planning. What we did first is lab scale implementation, which was completed July 6, 2025, followed by field prototype completed July 2025. Then performance optimization July 14, 2025. Fully deployed project was completed July 18, 2025. What our testing measure is like to measure energy efficiency, fuel quality compared to normal standard, and we have economic viability, which is return of investment. For urban area, we should have the return of investment around 5 months, while the area should be 12 months. Next slide. Material design. We use thin drum, which is scalable from 50 kg to 2 tons capacity. Then carburetor as a condenser with 90% oil.
1 minute.
Okay, our step by step is that first to collect plastic waste, then this our washer, it will get washed, then dry. From there we straight to the reactor. From there collect the fuel. Our benefit is the environmental benefit to reduce waste. Create job opportunity for people like
Thank you. 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes with the judges. Question and answer. So,
Okay, let's give Ami see what he says.
Okay, it's just a recommendation.
Okay.
So this work will actually they raise challenges, problems in the nearest future. For example, in case we have challenges in low sunlight, recommend that is proposal solution, hybrid heating, that is biogas and shampoo. For corrosion, we recommend parts. And for final testing, we recommend that we develop a package that is the rural where there's plenty of plastics. So that does it. Thank you.
Simple petrochemical. I will try to ask more of petrochemically related. So let's start by looking if you understand the subject matter. We talk of pyrolysis of plastic waste. In layman's language for these people to sit in to understand, when you say pyrolysis of plastic waste, what do you mean? What is it?
Okay, so when we talk about pyrolysis of plastic waste, first of all, I want to start by saying that pyrolysis is a thermochemical reaction that involves the transformation of organic materials such as plastics, which is our course of study, into fuel. So in the absence of oxygen, that means there should be no oxygen in the reactor. So that is what is pyrolysis of plastic waste.
So in the common man language, is it understandable? Is it understandable? Okay, so because I read a lot, I have a lot of understanding. So when you talk of pyrolysis of plastic waste, a common man like me, I understand that you're saying you want to collect plastic with byproducts of hydrocarbon, and you want to bring it back to the state of hydrocarbon. True or false? Okay. So that is the common language of what you guys were trying to do, which is excellent. And I love the design process. Which I know I've read projects on this which were done. But I don't know if you guys can achieve this result. It's left for authority to judge. But the demonstration scene here shows that you guys understand what you guys are trying to say. So for your presentation, you guys did well. Technicality, I only saw we are seeing the prototype, which is good. But sometimes it's good to go an extra mile. The reason why it's good to go an extra mile is because projects like this can go far beyond just the academic policy. It's just that I know a lot of individuals who are willing to sacrifice, especially students, a lot of money to get good food. They are not willing to sacrifice that lot of money to invest in good stuff like this. So next time, with something like this, maybe let's have a practical view. All the processes are okay. They are properly designed, properly illustrated, but now we don't know if we can achieve that result. Another question I want you people to also understand is, where is your area of residence? We're in Warri, right? Right? So imagine that you have a businessman sitting here from Warri, and you're talking about Lagos, do you think you buy a business idea? Is it possible? So that is why we have under the NCTMP what we call local content. Always try to localize your work. These plastics you have in Lagos, we have them in Warri. So if you change this your project, you can even, I would have said paralysis of plastic waste to fuel with solar assisted conversion using recycling materials in Warri. Now it makes for in Delta State. You can post this online and the parliamentarian can call you and say, please, can we see those students from food program we're talking about? Because it's local. It goes far beyond the classroom. So that is an amazing one. Secondly, what I didn't see in your work, I didn't see where people brought in the solar to do the job. He talked of generator. I would have asked if it's a solar, then I would have known that it will go in line with it. Because from your topic, what you want to, the energy source is solar, right? Okay, so what sort of at least see the area for the solar? Can you confirm with that? What was this? What is the source of energy in your conversion process? Solar. Where did you use the solar? Can you show us the solar in your design?
Actually, solar here, the solar supposed to be here before the heating process.
The solar is supposed to, but it's not there. So that's the point. It's a point because your team talks about solar assisted conversion. So it must be seen that now if this is to help you guys. We are not, this is not going to kill you, but because maybe next year SCSC, where is the incoming charter president? Where is Clement? So which is not IT. If he was here, these are stuff that he can help you go to register so your president can take note. That you should have what you are saying on your team, not having what you want to say in your mind and stop on it.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. Colleague have said, thinking you guys need to do more. Lord, say you need to do more work in terms of going beyond a prototype model, right? Trying to fabricate, first you do design. You know about design, I know you are chemical students, so you should know how to use IC10, ICs, right? To assess it. So you develop a part of that nature. And now you say the source of the power, because the power is not only for the heating, it will go for to power the entire plant. Back to the scrubber, because it has to work, right? These are devices that use mechanical systems. So the power will come from there. So you design it, then in that case, you've been able to assess it, right? So you go beyond the prototype model. So understand the stages. You go to design it, you look at that. The next stage you now go to fabricate it. And sometimes fabrication may think it's that expensive, may not be. If you are dealing with a small model like this, right, where you heat up your can you do it in your house? When you heat, because you have a gas, the container, you heat up the stuff, on it, then it evaporates. It's not so. When it evaporates, it's condensed to liquid, which is your offtake, right? You take it and you go further down to characterize it. So you can design a system that can allow you to do that. And in that case, if you can do that, I see no reason why you shouldn't present at STS energy challenge in a student conference. That's how you do it to in slots, and they are going for the ease. And I can tell you, we'll be sponsored to NIACE. Luckily for you, maybe next year we may have an exhibition booth. So that you can represent the chapter for next year's energy challenge. Because to qualify or to stand on the stage, you have to do something that is accessible, something we can see, something that is tested and trusted. And these days, solar panel, you can access it. So if you have a mini solar panel, you can create a heat and look at it from there. So how do you get other components to work and look at it from that perspective? Then get it working, and that's a big project for energy challenge. Like I also told you guys that beyond this, like we've been saying, we must not need to work in the oil and gas industry. We must not need to apply for jobs. You can create what? Jobs. And this is a project that can create jobs. So look beyond just going to work. Try to use this to create what? Jobs and opportunities. Like Ina is the CEO, a student from Fuku, right? The CEO. Me, I'm a consultant, and we're making money from different work we're doing. So you too can think of something in that light, and you can employ some of your mates that are here, the first class guys. Are you first class? Are you first class? Are you first class? You know me first class. You. Okay, the guys they are in top class. Do it so that you enjoy the first class guys. I'm just kidding you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Please, you know, not in first class, we first and second, first and half class.
Okay, so next up, we're calling on our next energy challengers, which is Team Marinas. Are we here? Team Marinas, are you here?
Please stop.
Team Marinas.
Stop up in the hall. Because of time after, we're going to give you
7 minutes for your question.
7 minutes. Then our judges just 2 minutes to so that we can work with it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My judges and my students. I am Tutor watching from Department 300 level. And with me here is Manuel Nelson. And also one of our team members is YouTube. So, in a society where carbon dioxide emission has been causing a lot of issues, as we all know, every year human activities such as deforestation and other activities such as decomposition of matter constitutes over 50 billion tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere every year. And with the rising level of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, it poses a lot of danger, such as trapping of heat in the Earth's atmosphere, constitutes to global warming, and also disrupt the national Earth climate. This has posed a lot of severe consequences, such as the rising of sea level and also causing of heat-related mortality. Critically speaking, constant emission of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere has led to the thinning and depletion of the ozone layer, exposing the Earth's surface to the ultraviolet radiation of the sun. This ultraviolet radiation does not only affect human beings, but also plant lives, aquatic animals in the marine, general entire ecosystem. Seeing this danger that emission of carbon dioxide poses to human health, a lot of countries or international agencies put in a lot of international treaties and laws in order to curb the emission of carbon dioxide. But despite their efforts, carbon dioxide is constantly emitted into the atmosphere. This has proven the futility of regulation without an innovative idea to properly capture carbon dioxide. Nature itself poses an entire blueprint by which carbon capture is actually possible. If you look at the stomata in plant leaves, whereby the stomata implanted can absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, playing a quiet but vital role in the Earth's carbon cycle. Then pops up the question in my mind and asks, what if we can mimic that process by which plants capture carbon dioxide from the Earth atmosphere and also, if possible, enhance it? That's the vision behind our project. By any stomata patch that can capture carbon dioxide from the atmosphere using smart materials, natural inspiration, microfluid engineering to create an intelligent system intelligently capture carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. I'll be calling on my team member to give us the methodology on how this is achievable. Thank you.
Thank you. As my team member, we are developing my patch. Before I go on, I would like to tell us more about a bionic model. When I say something is bionic, it simply means it imitates the behavior of biological processes. So we are imitating the behavior of the stomach. As we all know, plants use the stomach to carry out gas exchange in the atmosphere. Okay, so the stomata basically has gas cells which contract in order to exchange. So our model has three main components: the MOF material, the hydrogen set, and microcontrollers which control hydrogens. So MOFs are basically meta-organic frameworks. Meta-organic frameworks are polymer materials which are crystalline in nature and has porous holes which are adjustable and at the same time have lightweight. With this feature of it having lightweight makes it very suitable for MOF also has large surface area which exposes to more carbon dioxide to capture. Now we make use of MOF, magnesium MOF, type 4. This magnesium MOF has a very great affinity for carbon dioxide. Okay, so it captures carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and then it transports it straight to the next section, which is the hydrogen. Magnesium MOF from 4 has lightweight, which makes it suitable on the hydrogen. Doesn't have or damage. Okay, so the hydrogen layer in our design, the hydrogen layer has pores that are similar to the MOF. The hydrogen absorbs carbon dioxide. Right. But before I go on, I should tell you about hydrogels. Hydrogels are hydrophilic materials. They have an affinity for water and they absorb water to a very great extent. They are used to make drugs. And other materials. Because of their ability to absorb water, they can transport drugs to the body easily and very quickly. So in our design, we use
2 minutes more.
We use hydrogel because it has the ability to absorb water. It also has the ability to respond to stimuli. So has the ability to respond to stimuli. That means it responds to changes from the environment. Stimuli such as change in pH, temperature, and some ionic changes. And in our design, we make use of PNIMA hydrogel. That's poly-N isopropylamide hydrogel. This particular hydrogel, they are different. This particular hydrogel has a very great affinity for CO2, likewise. And we are going to infuse it with graphene oxide. This graphene oxide makes it much more reactive to carbon dioxide, not to trap and absorb carbon dioxide. Okay, so now in our design, we also layered our prototype with microcontrollers. These microcontrollers, they are meant there to control the opening and closing of the hydrogel. The opening and closing of the hydrogel. Okay, so when the hydrogels connect carbon dioxide, it transports them to the carbon dioxide solution, which is meant to be under the microcontroller layer. Alright, so you'll be asking yourself, why am I collecting carbon dioxide from that atmosphere? My teammate earlier said that carbon dioxide contributes generally to global warming, which causes methane on ice cap. But carbon dioxide has its uses as well in daily activities. Carbon dioxide has its uses in carbonation of trees. Carbon dioxide has its uses in even in enhancement of the soil. Carbon dioxide can be fed into the soil in order to improve the fertility of the soil in some areas. But there is a recent technology which comes up in which carbon dioxide is used and is mixed with green hydrogen. The first speaker in the paper presentation spoke about green hydrogen. And carbon dioxide is green hydrogen in order to make highly efficient fuels which can be used in applications. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Like we also told the other speakers, is that if you look at how you can design the system, right, and come up with something so that you can assess it. You understand? It's a nice presentation, but you need to go beyond. I think literature review. Literature review.
Call it
review of existing work.
It's not cited to a particular, this idea was a group ourselves and we just made research and brought up what we
You have literature review to your work, review of existing work. So what is MOF? What's the meaning of MOF?
Okay, I said meta-organic frameworks.
What is meta-organic framework?
Okay, so meta-organic frameworks are porous polymer materials. Currently, they are new technology, but they are only made of polymers. Polymers which have high surface area and has high affinity for gases. They trap and store gases. They help in separation of gases from other gases. So in our own, MGM Web 74 has affinity for the CO2. So even in the atmosphere, it can collect only CO2, leaving other gases. Even in greenhouse gases, if the project can produce it.
Yeah, I need a man. So you assess these objectives, you get like test it and it works. You shout, "Oh, Wicca!" No, you know Wicca, right? Is that Archimedes? That shouted, "Oh, Wicca!" You shout, "Oh, Wicca!" The excitement comes, you'll be happy. So let's say that try and do it and assess. See, what's your, is it that you want to capture the entire CO2 in the world, or what's your capacity?
Alright, so
CO2 capacity.
CO2 generally doesn't, when you say greenhouse gases affect climate change, greenhouse gases are not completely useless. They trap heat and they actually regulate the temperature of the earth. Except that with time, when they build up, it becomes greater than the amount of which is used up, then it affects global warming and causes pollution of ozone and other factors likewise. Our capacity of absorbing will only tell depending on the area. Because let's say in Nigeria, for instance, Nigeria has, I would say Nigeria has a higher amount of carbon dioxide every day. But other countries set regulations which reduce the amount of static released into the atmosphere. And for our Nigeria, for instance, we have a higher rate because there is minimal compliance with these regulations. So our device will not just we collect at the same time as we collect, we are working on building a processing device and a storage tank which converts it from gaseous state to the steady state, where it can be probably sold for, as I said, talking about mixing it green hydrogen is not good. Collect it and probably stored and maybe sold to other companies which convert it to meaningful fuel which can be used for
Yeah, just come close. So, what are the sources of carbon dioxide?
Carbon dioxide can be gotten from natural sources, from the composition of the land. We use carbon dioxide from the respiration of humanity. Natural causes is artificial. The combustion of that is combustion of fuel generally. Anthropogenic. I'm not sure I mentioned the word.
Studying mastery of your topic is key. One of the things, because when you talk, you guys are doing good, but you need to have a scope, an area of focus. You talked of natural, I saw in one of the presentations, you talked of anthropogenic. When you talk about anthropogenic, is there anyone else knows what anthropogenic means? Now, this is man-made form of carbon dioxide. For instance, from man's activities, fossil fuel, usage of fossil fuel, those are man-made. Then you have the source, which is from carbon dioxide from the subsurface. These are the three sources. You have to specialize which area you're focusing on what you're doing on. Hope you understand what I'm saying. Are you focusing on those that are being used or you want to? So, in general, which is pick of today, I was expecting to see that. And secondly, I didn't see any form of practical work. Energy challenge has no value when you can showcase the process and what you intend achieving. Also, for energy challenge, I was expecting that at the end of the carbon, what do you want to use it for? To include it in your work. Now, you get my point, so that you can go along with it very much. Next time.
Thank you very much. Next up, we'll be having a talk routine by our very own Dr. Ayodele Ruben. Let's put our hands together as we come up stage. So while we're waiting for him to come up, let's quick airtime give away. Low users, are we here? Low users, are we here? Get ready. As follows: 48382 517 1874. Who got this? Okay, let's put our hands together for him.
Afternoon, everyone. Hello. I'm so happy that we get in, and I must thank the chapters, and also to I must thank every student that are seated here today. The reason being that you are here today and we're able to stay till this time is because you are the future, right? Hello. It's because of your future. And because yesterday I was at the Coppers Forum. So we're talking to the Coppers yesterday to boost their morale. Because these days, youths or young people, there's one thing we notice. They don't have flair for knowledge, much like that. I don't mean you guys, but many of the youths. But you see them on social media, on Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter. So, but you guys are here today because make a difference. And I would say that all we have learned today, you should put them into practice. And my friend is here. Hello. I think you should go back to school, right? And correct so many things, is it not so? Because all that we've told you today, that is so sustainable energy future. what are the innovation and the challenges that we have here. Next, right there. So I talk about the petroleum industry, which I assume that everyone seated here today is already familiar with. The industry that supplies the world energy, right? We supply the world energy in terms of fossil fuel. Now we are looking at the sustainable future by having an energy mix that incorporates renewables and other forms of energy as part of what the industry now supplies. And the industry today is several challenges. One that has to do with oil price fluctuation. And you know, we talk about oil price. Nigeria is affected, right? Because our budget was pegged at $75 per barrel. Now, oil price is how much? It's about $69 per barrel. So that's why you see that government is what? Government is broke. So oil price fluctuation is a challenge. Environmental concerns is also another challenge, which some of the students here they try to address by coming up with those innovative solutions. We talk about climate change, we talk about crude oil, right? Hello, we talk about gas flaring. These are some eminent environmental concerns. Then you have the geopolitical tensions as challenges facing the industry at the moment. When we talk about geopolitical tensions, see that the war between Ukraine and Russia. I'm not from Russia. I'm not from Ukraine. That means it does not. But it concerns you because the war actually impacted the industry, right? That was why you found the price of gas soared. And I think that's one of the major causes of inflation globally. Just as we are crying in Nigeria that things are going on, that's how people are also crying about that. Price of things are also what? Are also going up. Then you have energy transition and insecurity. So the question will be that these all these challenges, what is the future of the energy industry? What is it now, like some of the speakers said? So now we're looking at energy trilemma, which deals with energy security, challenge of energy affordability, and challenge of sustainability. Where you now as a student, you can come in and play a role. Like so what your colleagues did. No, they are trying to address the challenge of what? Energy what? Security or energy what? Sustainability by providing a cleaner source of what? Energy for us. They want to capture CO2 so that it does not harm the what? The atmosphere. So as students and innovative projects in this to address energy what? Trilemma. The cost of electricity is expensive, right? So you can think of, okay, what local solution can I come up with to address electricity what? Challenges? What local solutions can I come up with to see that those in the village can actually have uninterrupted what? Power, or even within the cities? What local solutions can I come up with? Or how can I solve one of these energy what? Challenges in terms of these sources of energy? Because what I will use to come, because of time, and allow that we all soon be closed, is that with what is happening in the industry, things you can do for yourself is one, by acquisition of energy security, affordability, or sustainability. You need skills, right? And those skills should not just be theoretical, it should be something that is hands-on. That's why one of the expecting from the students that saying that you want to provide an energy mix. You have to use softwares that can solve problem, which is a skill, right? And students can take that up as a look at that sense of skills. The innovation or project work, you can also look at that too. So I won't want to talk much because of time, but my slide is with Lucy, so you can get the slide from her. But in all, we will always emphasize on what skills, that to become relevant, you must what? You must have what? You must have the skill. I don't mean, let me not mention the kind of skills you guys sometimes people think of, but if you key into the energy industry, programming, if it's fabrication, if it's use of software, learn it so that you can be able to key into the industry. Thank you.
Okay, so while was having the speech, a very important person walked in, our very own Dr. Polo Goodway. Let's start Thank you so much, sir, for your presence. So now we'll be starting with the PetroBowl competition. So the contestants, please come up to this podium. This is the most interesting program.
Please put your hands together for them.
PetroBowl, please come up.
Just come up, you do yourself.
All right.
I'm managing time.
300 level by my legs, 500 by my right. Please let me come up with that. Let's be fast and active now. 300 level, where's your last system?
Chill. Now come here.
Okay, all right. Please, it's 4 player per team, so the last player will stay outside in the meantime. When you guys need the last for solving, you get it. Okay, well, be fast. So I'm presenting the questions from here for the students to respond to. Before starting, I will be taking permission from the head of the department, Dr. Wilfred Bugube. I appreciate his support that he gives the chapter. So please, the two teams, are they ready? Did you guys include boxers or just how is it in the system? You guys need timing from there, right? Okay. Then how will you know? Yeah, just let me know how you guys. Oh, the game code. That's the first. The game code. Okay, the game code 884732. Share screen. Oh, and the game code 884732.